Newsball got an email from a viewer that does not agree with our coverage on the Samuel Paty beheading, in which we said, hey, if you vote Biden, terror is coming to America. Muslim refugees will resume under the Democrat Party. And he does not agree with our coverage. And let's read his email, give him a shout out, and have a quick discussion. So he wrote, "What utter garbage. America is in a state of chaos, under threat, and more divided ever, thanks to Trump. You're deluded. Maybe sit out the election and let grown-ups decide." Well, first, I am sitting out the election because I live in California and the vote doesn't matter, and the only thing that matters is all the illegal immigrants that are voting and all the fake ballots that are being submitted so that California just embarrasses Trump by like 5 million votes. So it doesn't matter because of the Electoral College. But if I lived in Pennsylvania or one of these swing states, yes, I would be voting. But because I'm in California, I am sitting out the election. All right, sir. Do you know what this is? This is the symbol of 2020. It's a dumpster fire. 2020 is a dumpster fire. The plague and the purge, protests, the pandemic, that has completely dominated 2020. Besides the Kobe Bryant crash and Black Panther dying, RBG dying, all of it is shocking except RBG dying. But this is the dumpster fire 2020. So America is in chaos, and you just blamed Trump on that. So the dumpster fire 2020 is Trump's fault. The protests are because some crazy, brutal cops were recorded doing some really brutal, horrible things, like choking a black man by his neck with the knee on it for 9 minutes. That's Trump's fault? And you don't want to respect his law and order tone because he didn't appease the protesters and give them their way and say, okay, I understand. No, you should respect that he isn't a liar politician that wants to change his tune. Why don't you respect that he doesn't change his tune just to appease some bratty, destroying rioters, huh? They're going around harassing, terrorizing diners and destroying restaurants. Want to reward that by having the president say, hey, let's have a roundtable discussion. And yeah, the police are wrong a lot. They're not wrong a lot. They're wrong like 1% of the time. There's millions of arrests a day, and just the 1 out of 1 million that go bad get recorded and blasted on TV for propaganda purposes. Like, why are you doing this, man? Why are you lying on purpose? You lying to yourself. Why can't you see, like, 2020 was unleashed against Trump with the virus? And I've got a whole other big ass video. If you're not on mobile, here it is. You can watch it. It sums it up. It sums up why it's just complete and utter nonsense. You're blaming Trump as if he started the virus, or that if anything he had done could have changed the trajectory of it. The virus would just be over now if he had just told his supporters to wear masks, right? I have a video that I just did about that too, because no, don't insult my intelligence. I wasn't going to wear a mask no matter what he said. And 50 million people, different kinds of people, we're not going to wear masks either no matter what he said. And most of them are oblivious to even what he says because they're college students, young people. They don't even watch politics. They don't even know what he's saying about masks. So if I walk down the street and a house is on fire because the husband is a domestic violence abuser, and this virus is causing tons of domestic violence increases and overdoses and suicides, and that is way worse than lockdowns and saving people's lives from the virus.
Yes, the blue states, California, Washington State, New York, and Northeast,
Sad fake news right here.
They have come down stayed down, back up in a little bit in the summer surge. Everyone's going up right now. Look at the red states. Look at the red states. These are states with Republican governors. They were down at first. They drove the summer surge. Look how high this went. Did come down some, but right now in America, states with Republican governors have a bigger problem than states with Democratic governors. One more thing.
What is the bigger problem right now? So, Republican governor states have a bigger problem than the blue states. And he's saying that the coronavirus cases are the bigger problem. And totally ignoring the fact that suicides, domestic violence, drug overdose, more poverty, job losses, etc. are all happening at way higher levels when there are lockdowns, business shutdowns, isolation, Los Angeles County making you wear face masks, dog muzzles, even when you're out exercising and people screaming at each other like my sister keeps saying is happening to her, even when she's walking in the middle of the street or taking the dog out to go to the bathroom. And so, making a big deal out of that, the red, as if that's the only problem that matters. Coronavirus cases is one little problem, and all of the other effects, all of the other problems caused when you lock down and have a smaller spike in cases. Where is the suicides and the depression and the drug overdoses and the domestic violence and the poverty and the job losses? Because less cases. Because LA County and California as a whole and Florida, actually Florida is a Republican, but New York, New Jersey, they're all this. So, ooh, wow, good job, blue Democrat states. You're having less cases right now because you're locking everyone down and you're having way more suicides and depression and on and on and on it goes. Such shameful, deceptive fake news.
Aaron, you might hear tonight,
but
the president will say, everyone's going through this. Don't blame me. The world is going through this. He's right. The world is going through this.
At least he's
saying
this.
At the moment, actually has more cases per capita. That's the yellow line. More cases per capita than the United States. The United States is the green line. Look at that. And now, as we go back up, Europe is shooting up. New restrictions in Ireland, new restrictions in Germany, new restrictions in France, new restrictions really across the continent as they see this. The worry of public health.
That's Trump's fault too. And by the way, the next 50,000 people that die were going to die anyways from the yearly flu, but instead it's the China virus that's going to kill them this year, and you're going to blame Trump for that too. But if I'm walking by a house and it's on fire and I don't want to go in and save the screaming people because it's clearly so hot I am going to die, you're going to blame me rather than the domestic violence abuser that beat up the wife and the kids and set it on fire and then fled the house. Like, is it my fault I didn't run into the house and save them? Or is it that domestic violence murderer's fault that set the house on fire and killed his family? Okay, so you're gonna blame me because I didn't go and fix the situation, that I didn't put out the fire. Trump didn't start the fire, and there was nothing he could do to put out the fire, because this is a democracy, and you can't tell 50 million or 100 million people for a bunch of different reasons, and a bunch of different kinds of people that don't care what Trump had to say about the mask, to wear a mask. So how are you going to blame Trump for the virus? How are you going to blame Trump for any sort of response he had? Virus is the virus. We destroyed the earth. And that is why viruses are coming more and more. This one is China's fault. And this is a China virus election. And all of this chaos, a lot of it is very suspicious, right? In the election year, they tried every which way to get rid of Trump. Nothing worked for 4 years. And now you are really thinking that this division and this chaos is just a coincidence in the election year. All right. Crazy stuff, man. Come on.